Good morning. Welcome to the news at 10 on Nta News24. We are live in Abuja. I am Ogochkuka Ona. The headlines.
There must be a disaster relief fund for victims.
President Bola Tinubu promises assistance to victims of Maiduguri flood disaster.
Also pleading on behalf of the National Emergency Management Agency to the federal government in order to provide additional support.
Borno State Governor Babagana Umar Zulum expresses appreciation for NEMA's support to flood victims. Federal government set to exploit $7 trillion global halal market. And Nigerian Air Force airstrikes destroy illegal refining sites in Rivers State. President Bola Tinubu has pledged more strategic assistance from the federal government to assuage the effects of the recent flood in Maiduguri and its environs. The president, who visited the Borno state capital to sympathize with people of the state over the disaster that has displaced thousands of residents, suggested a national disaster relief fund to cater for victims of such situations in Nigeria. State House correspondent Musbaudan Wahab reports.
President Bola Tinubu returned from his trips to China and the UK Sunday night. Just a few hours after his return, the president would fulfill a sense of responsibility as he proceeded to Maiduguri to see the devastating consequences of the flood, stifling the rejuvenating peace of the home of peace. Though the waters have largely receded, those who suffered the effect are yet to overcome, as President Tinubu visited one of the camps housing those displaced by the disaster. They clearly felt the sense of compassion of the president. President Tinubu proceeded to the palace of Shehu of Borno, which was also overtaken by the floods. Not only has the state not witnessed flood of this magnitude, the disaster has equally truncated the rebuilding process of a state just recovering from the devastation of years of insurgency. And the traditional ruler, who appreciated the concern and support of the president, has a plea to the federal government.
My request to you is one, that is, to find out the root cause of this flooding and address appropriately so as to avoid future occurrence, as over 80% of this town has been affected by this disaster.
The magnitude of the damage we have, as it has been said by His Royal Highness, the Shehu of Borno, we want you to look into the possibility of reconstructing this dam with new hydraulic structures that can handle natural flow of water.
President Tinubu sympathized with the people of the state, and particularly those who have suffered varying degrees of losses to the disaster. For him, the Maiduguri experience is of national concern and will be treated as such.
We, as a government, as Nigerian people, will pledge with you that we will help in the rehabilitation and resolution of problems there. It is our problem, not just your problem, not the problem of community alone.
At the Borno State Government House, President Tinubu commended the commitment and leadership quality of Governor Babagana Umar Zulum and appreciated the support of various bodies, including members of the Governors Forum and donors.
for the people of Bonny, Yobe, and other affected states. I say we will pull together a very good program for Nigeria to recover from this calamity and do better in the interest of our people. I've been thinking of how do we tackle this kind of a problem, whether it's climate change or any other means. But there must be a disaster relief fund for the victims.
We are going to partner with you to ensure that they don't only have palliative, but we support the disaster management fund that you have just pronounced today. We will do so, even if it means doing so with our stipends. We assure you that we'll support you to make sure that those things are in place.
The president is back in the nation's capital after the one-day visit to Maiduguri. In Abuja, Musbao, then Wahab, Nta News.
And still staying in Borno, the governor, Babagana Marazulum, has expressed gratitude to the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, for the consistent support to victims of floods in the state. This was while inspecting food distribution at internally displaced persons camps in company with the agency's Director General, Zubeida Umar. Correspondent Ilyasu Yakubu reports.
The deployment of resources for evacuation, search and rescue mission, as well as provision of food and non-food items to victims of flood disaster in Maiduguri by the National Emergency Management Agency has been described as unprecedented. Experts say this level of commitment must be sustained and improved upon for the well-being of all Nigerians. Governor Zulum said with the volume of intervention work done by NEMA for the upkeep of disaster victims across the country, it is obvious that the agency is overwhelmed and therefore appeal.
NEMA is overwhelmed, and therefore I'm also pleading on behalf of the National Emergency Management Agency to the federal government in order to provide additional support for them so that they can carry out their functions diligently.
Nta News investigation revealed that the flood waters are gradually receding and the victims are beginning to pick up the pieces of their lives. From Maiduguri, Ilyasu Yakubu, Nta News.
And now the federal government is set to launch a comprehensive strategy to position the country as a leading player in the halal economy, targeting $1.5 billion GDP through strategic initiatives by 2027. A statement by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Communications, Office of the Vice President, Stanley Nkwocha, said the project is part of initiatives to diversify the economy and tap into the global halal market products and services that meet Islamic standards of permissibility and embody ethics, integrity, and universal values that resonate across cultures and regions. The success of the Sukuk bonds and the growing appeal of Islamic banking demonstrates that halal principles are compatible with global economic standards and can benefit all Nigerians. The statement said the strategic focus of the halal economy will open up new avenues for Nigerian businesses to compete on the global stage. NNPC Limited has released estimated prices of petrol obtained from the Dangote refinery in its retail stations across the country. A statement from Olufemi Soneye, Chief Corporate Communications Officer, NNPC Limited, indicates that the estimated prices are based on negotiated terms between NNPC and Dangote Refinery, which recognize the current international gasoline prices and the prevailing foreign exchange rates in line with the provisions of the PIA. NNPC Limited confirms that it is paying Dangote Refinery in US dollars for the September 2024 petrol offtake, as Naira transactions will only commence on October 1st, 2024. NNPC Limited reassures Nigerians that any discount from the Dangote refinery will be passed on 100% to the general public. The air component of the Operation Delta Safe has executed air interdiction missions in Rivers State as part of its intensified efforts to curb crude oil theft, pipeline vandalism, and economic sabotage in the Niger Delta. Deputy Director, Public Relations and Information, Group Captain Kabiru Ali, indicates that the two separate missions targeted specific sites along the Imo River, including Owaza, Uzaku, Obuzo, Oswaku, and Obiaku. The air crew proceeded to conduct armed reconnaissance mission in Owaza and Uzaku, during which they identified an active illegal refining site at Uzaku and immediately engaged, resulting in the destruction of 4 tanks and 2 canoes. The second mission originally was intended to support troops northwest of Umuahia, but adverse weather conditions forced the crew to divert and conducted further air reconnaissance around the Obuzo section of the Imo River, thereby destroying 12 tanks along with several jerrycans and other equipment used by the criminals around Owaza, Obuzo, Oswaku, and Obiaku. The NAF will continue to conduct air operations against the activities of oil thieves and other criminals in the Niger Delta, and in support of ground forces across the region, is calling on citizens to key into the efforts of security agencies to detect the activities of these economic saboteurs with a view to checkmating their activities. And this is the news at 10 on Nta News24. Let's take a break now. More reports when we return.
You know the geography of Nigeria, but we're not a nation. A nation is a group of people with a shared vision.
In many states of the Federation, with a few exceptions, we have only 2 tiers of government. The local government is completely gone.
Insightful, thought-provoking, and engaging.
Those countries that we go to buy refined petroleum products, or technically what we call distillates, are we saying their economic and political leaders are fools?
What you see that is happening in the urban area is not happening in the rural area. There's no balance, there's no holistic or concerted approach to development.
Every development is local. You know, every underdevelopment is also local. I think what we need is to promote national development.
Good Morning Nigeria, the Nigerian Television Authority's flagship program, brings you all you need to know on current national issues that affect you. With expert analysis from professionals from all fields of endeavor, Good Morning Nigeria is your daily tonic of accurate, fact-based and intellectual discussions on issues that matter to you. Airing every weekday live between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. on the network service of the NTA. Repeat broadcasts at 5 p.m. daily on Nta News24. Don't be left out. You can join us by tuning in to Nta News24.
A 25-year-old graduate from the University of Ibadan, Bamidele Mofi-Folua, has emerged winner of the #One Nigeria Unity Fabric competition promoted by Nigeria's First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu. The lady was unveiled at a ceremony in the villa where the First Lady called upon Nigerian youths to keep tapping into their creative resources for personal and societal growth. State House correspondent Adeniyi Taiwo has more.
It was a long walk for Bamidele Mofi-Folua, who, like 110 other young Nigerians, took up the challenge thrown by Nigeria's First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, to design a fabric that creatively captures the beauty and unity in Nigeria's diversity. And that much was on display as the fabric, already sewn into beautiful dresses, came alive on stage where models took to the runway in the banquet hall. For the First Lady, the competition, which was inspired by a visit to Zimbabwe, has met its objectives, showcasing the patriotism and creative depths of Nigerian youths.
Every design submitted is a demonstration of the depth of talent we have in Nigeria. I applaud each one of you for your contributions. However, we can only have one winner. But I urge you not to relent in expressing your creativity, imagination, and nurturing your dreams and passion. The winning design was further worked upon by a renowned textile designer, Ms. Banke Kuku. And apart from the Renewed Hope Initiative team, we added the Nigerian coat of arms to make it truly a national fabric.
Already, about 200,000 pieces of 6 yards wrappers of the fabric have been produced. The idea, the First Lady says, is to bring more business into the local economy.
As we showcase this design, our goal is to encourage local mass production of the Unity fabric by 2 of our local manufacturers, making it accessible to all Nigerians. By mass producing this fabric, we aim to stimulate local industries, create jobs, and boost our economy. We envision this fabric will be used in national celebration events and daily lives, symbolizing unity, love, and pride in our nation. This project aligns with our broader objectives of fostering creativity, supporting local enterprises, and celebrating our national identity in line with the renewed hope agenda of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR. The fabric will be officially worn for our Independence Day celebration on the 1st of October 2024 across the nation. I pray that this fabric will bring joy, peace, love, prosperity, and unity to our nation as we move forward.
We have made provision for 5,000 pieces to various states, including the Federal Capital Territory. However, Lagos, Kano, and Abuja will get 10,000 each, considering their population and strategic importance.
With a cash prize of 25 million naira promised and delivered, the winner, Mufin Ifoluwa, is left with a sense of fulfillment for successfully nurturing a passion in creative design.
Making a fabric, I made it with love. I thought about what the country is going through right now. I feel if we all come together to stand firm as one nation, one unity, I feel Nigeria will be great. That's what made me to draw out the fabric.
From the banquet hall of the presidential villa, Adeni Itaiwo, Nta News.
And similarly, Nigeria's creative sector is a powerful engine for economic growth that is yet to be tapped into optimally. Creators of performing arts and cultural heritage in the country are calling for a marriage with the private sector to take the industry to the next level. Lanre Gbeleyi says these creatives are ready to walk the talk.
Nigerian arts, culture and creative industry is one of the new frontiers of generating massive economic gains in the nation's diversification drive. Yet, it remains uncharted. Ancient spectrum of impressive arts and cultural heritage turning into creative industries are of immense economic benefit to the government at the federal, state, and communities, creating jobs and attracting investment.
We are not going to expect government to do everything. It doesn't quite work that way. But what we need to do is to make the private sector begin to see the creative industry as a as serious business, because that is what it is.
We are basically importing everything and we barely export anything but oil. Now, the creative sector is an export product, no doubt about that. When you think about the remittances, you're talking about a $5 billion economy per year. Imagine if we can expand that capacity for us to get more payments and to export more products from fashion, from our food, from our brands.
Taking a look at animation, for instance, Nigerian animators project this sector of creative industry